Hello, dear friends. We're gathered again to read the Book of Zohar, the Book of Brilliance. We're reading together to build this prayer for world peace. So let's connect our intentions and our desires as one, and let's check who's with us from all around the world. Julie writes, Shalom from Salt Lake, Utah. Carl writes, greetings from Pittsburgh. Ed says hello from Ohio. Tolik from Brooklyn sends love. Sean sends love and peace from Melbourne, Australia. Susan from Toronto, Canada. Sylvie says hello everyone. Shalom from Netherlands. Ray's with us. Monica from UK. Francine from Portland, Oregon. To Be Conscious from Denmark. Carly from California. Southern Sat from Arkansas. Jarrett from San Antonio. Maria from Hungary. Elizabeth from Netherlands. Dallas from Dallas. Ray from Utah. Batya says Shalom. Judith says from Washington. AJ from San Francisco. Anima says much love. Love from United Kingdom. Patricia from Ohio. El Sud Tifon from Newark. Annie from Western North Carolina. And Haruk Magic says Shalom from Romania. Okay, friends, we are continuing to read The Rose, the article that we started last Tuesday. The next section is called The Rose Mirrors of the Sulam Ladder. You can find it on Kabbalamedia.info. If you go to Kabbalah Library, and under Rashbi, the author of the Zohar, you can find the first article, the rose, and the second part is the rose mirrors of the Sulam ladder. The engraved and explicit name was sewn in 42 letters of the work of creation. There are many numbers in the counting of the Sfirot. The number 10, Kahab, Hagat, Nehim. This is Keter, Chochma, Bina, Hesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Chod, Yesod, and Malchut. The number 7, Hagat, Nehim. The number 6, called Vak, Hagat, Nehi. The number 5 Chasadim, or 5 Gvorot, Hagat, Nach. And the number 13, the 13 qualities of mercy, or upper, Kahab, Hagat, and the lower, Hagat and Nahim. We must understand, it is said in Sefer Yetzirah, the Book of Creation, 10 and not 9, 10 and not 11. Thus we must neither subtract nor add to the number 10. Instead, we must know that the 10 Sfirot, Kahab, Hagat, Nehim, are essentially only 5 Sfirot, Kahab Tum, except that the Sfira Tiferet contains within it 6 Sefirot, Hagat, Nehi, and thus we arrive at the number 10. However, all those 6 elements, Hagat Nehi, are but detailing of a single Sefirah, Tiferet. The reason that we only detail Tiferet are not the first 3 Gar is not because of the merit of Tiferet, but because of her deficiency compared to Gar, since this detailing is the inclusion of 5 Sefirot in one another, in each of which are 5 Sefirot. It follows that there are 5 Sefirot Kahab Tum in Keter, 5 Sefirot Kahab Tum in Chochma, and 5 Sefirot Kahab Tum in Bina. Also, there should also be 5 Sefirot Kahab Tum in Tiferet. However, since the essence of Tiferet is only light of Chasadim and not Chochmah, and the 5 Sefirot included in it are necessarily only 5 Chasadim, the names of the 5 Sefirot in it have therefore changed, since Kahab descended in it into Hagat, and Tum descended in it into Nach, Netzach Chod. Hence, the 5 Sefirot included in Tiferet are only called Hagat Nehi. Also, a discernment that includes all 5 Chasadim was added to it, and it is called Yesod. This is why there are 6 Sefirot in Tiferet, Hagat Nehi, Hesed Gvura Tiferet, Netzach Chod Yesod. And why are the 5 Sefirot included in each of the Kahab, not counted in the number of the Sefirot? and only the elements of Tiferet are counted in the number of the Sfirot. It is so because the integration of the Sefirot in one another does not add to the number of the 5 primary Sefirot, making them worthy of particular mention. But with the integration of the 5 Sefirot in Tiferet, the 5 Sefirot became new phases in it, 5 Chasadim. Hence, they are mentioned as 5 particular phases in the Sefirot, and are included in the count of the Sefirot. Thus, Tiferet being counted as 6 Sefirot, Chagat Nahi, is because of its inferiority compared to Gar, as it is only light of Chasadim. Also, in all the numbers in the count of the Sefirot, it does not decrease from the number 10, which is essentially only 5 Sefirot. This is so because 10 Sefirot means including the 6 Sefirot detailed in Tiferet. And when we say 5 Sefirot, it means without the detailing of the Vak in Tiferet. And the count of Vak is 5 Sefirot included in Tiferet, with its Kolel, meaning including, or one that includes, is called Yesod. And the count of 7 Sefirot is when we calculate Malchut along with Tiferet. Let us explain the number 13. The number first emerged in the world of correction, in the establishment of the Partsuf, since in each Partsuf, in Atzilut, Biriyah, Yetzirah, Asiyah, there are only 3 vessels, Bina, Zir Anpin, and Malchut. And the vessels of Keter, Chokhmah are missing. The lights of Keter and Chokhmah clothed within the vessel of Bina, but for themselves, each Sephirah contains these 3 vessels. Even in Keter, Chokhmah, there are 3 vessels of Bina and Zon in Keter, Bina and Zon in Chokhmah, and Bina and Zon in Bina. Thus, the vessel of Keter and Chokhmah is missing in all the Sefirot, and Bina, Ziranpin, and Nukva are present in all the Sefirot. Let's take a moment to watch a clip of Dr. Rav Laitman.
Whoever wants to feel the Zohar has to understand that the Zohar reveals to us the network of connections between us, and how this network is inspired by the attribute of bestowal which is revealed in it, which is called the Creator. And this inspiration, this revelation, takes place according to the law of equivalence of form. While we read the Zohar, we have to think about how the light is revealed inside our common Kli.
Okay, we will continue our reading with this renewed intention. Let's remember that the power in this is in reading together and not alone. So if you can follow along and read, again, in a united intention, in one thought, for the sake of world peace. The 3 vessels, Bina, Ziranpin, and Malchut, are divided into 10 Sefirot, since each of them comprises 3 lines, right, left, and middle. The 3 lines in Bina became Chabad. The 3 lines in Ziranpin became Hagat. And the 3 lines in Malchut became Nahi. And with the Malchut that contains them, they are 10 Sefirot. Thus, each Partsuf has 10 Sefirot: Chabat, Hagat, Nahim. It is known that Rosh of Arich Anpin of Atzilut has only 2 Sefirot: Keter Chochmah, which are called Keter and Chochmah Stima, whose Bina emerged from Ziranpin of Arich Anpin and became Guf, body, Vak, lacking the Mochin of Rosh. This is the meaning of Abba, taking Ima outside. For this reason, Bina divided into Gar and Zat. For the flaw of lack of Mochin of Rosh does not blemish the Gar of Bina. For whatsoever, as she is only light of Chasadim in her essence, in the 10 Sefirot of direct light, and there is no difference in that light when it is in the Rosh or in the Guf, since it always illuminates equally. Hence, the exit of Bina from the Rosh does not diminish her from Gar and from the Mochin of the Rosh. Thus, Gar of Bina were separated to be on their own and became the Partsufim of Upper Abba Ve'ima, which are considered Gar, although they stand from Pei of Arich Anpin and downward. But Zat of Bina, which are essentially Bina from the incorporation of Zon in Bina, need illumination of Chochmah as well to impart to Zon. For this reason, they suffer from this flaw of Bina's exit from Rosh Arich Anpin, since by this they became devoid of Chochmah. Thus, they are regarded as Vak and Guf, lacking the Mochin of Rosh. Because of this flaw, they were separated from Gar of Bina and became a separate Partsuf called Yeshsut. It follows that the exit of Bina from the Rosh of Arich Anpin created 2 distinct phases in her, Gar and Zat. As a result, 3 Sefirot were added to the Partsuf, because now the 3 lines in Gar of Bina were considered Chabad. The 3 lines in Zat of Bina were considered upper Hagat, and the 3 lines in Ziranpin were considered lower Hagat, and the 3 lines in Malchut as Nahi. Along with the Malchut that includes them, they are 13 Sefirot. Thus, the exit of Bina from the Rosh causes the number 13 Sefirot in the Partsuf, since 2-fold Hagat were made in the Partsuf. However, this is not permanent, since by raising Main Nukvin or Man from the lower ones, illumination from Ab Sag of Ak is extended, and this illumination brings the Bina back to Rosh of Arich Anpin, and then to Zat of Bina. Then Zat of Bina can receive Chochmah from Arich Anpin and impart upon the sons to Zon. It is considered that the exit of Bina from Rosh of Arich Anpin in the beginning was essentially only in order to impart illumination of Chokhmah to Zon. Were it not for the exit, it would have been impossible to extend illumination of Chokhmah to Zon. Thus, these three Sefirot that were added by the exit of Bina are only preparation and qualification for extension of Mochin of Chokhmah to Zon, which are the 7 days of correction, of creation. Thus, in every place, the number 13 is regarded as extension of Chokhmah to Zon. This explains the difference between 5 Sefirot and 13 Sefirot. The 5 Sefirot indicate that they have only 5 Chasadim, but 13 indicates the extension of illumination of Chokhmah by the 3 Sefirot, Upper Hagat, which were added due to Bina's exit. Item 3. Now we will explain the name 42 and 42 couplings due to the Bina's exit. She divided into Gar and Zat. Gar of Bina were established as Partsuf, upper Abba Ve'ima, clothing Arich Anpin from its pei through the Chazeh, and the light in them is called pure air. Zat of Bina were established as Partsuf Yeshsut, which clothes Arich Anpin from Chazeh to Tabor, and the light in them is called plain air. Air means light of Ruach, meaning only light of Chasadim, without Chokhmah. For this reason, Bina is considered to have departed the Rosh of Arich Anpin into the state of air, since due to the exit from Rosh of Arich Anpin, which is Chokhmah, there is only light of Chasadim in her, without Chokhmah, which is called air. However, there is a difference between upper Abba Ve'ima and Yeshsut. Upper Abba Ve'ima are Gar of Bina. They are not flawed by their exit from the Chokhmah, since their essence in Chasadim without Chokhmah. Even when the lower ones raise Man and Bina returns to Rosh of Arich Anpin, upper Abba Ve'ima do not receive Chokhmah, but only Yeshsut. Gar of Bina never change their nature, and are therefore not flawed at all by the exit from the Rosh. They are regarded as though they never emerged from Rosh of Arich Anpin, and they are considered complete Gar. For this reason, they are regarded as pure air. Thus, they are also unknown air, which means that their Da'at does not draw Chokhmah, and their air does not become light of Chokhmah. However, Yeshsut, Zat of Bina, which need the light of Chokhmah in order to impart to Zon, are blemished by the exit from Rosh of Arich Anpin, because the absence of Chokhmah due to their being at the Guf of Arich Anpin is sensed in them as an actual deficiency. For this reason, their air is not considered pure air, but only plain air, or air that is about to become known and to draw Chokhmah through Man, which is called Da'at. This is so because while the lower ones raise Man, Bina returns to being completely Rosh of Arich Anpin, and then Yeshsut receive Chokhmah from Arich Anpin and impart to Zon. At that time, it is considered that the Yud comes out of the Avir, air, and becomes light, which is light of Chokhmah. Thus the air of Yeshut is known, but upper Abba Ve'ima remain as pure air then too, upon their return to Rosh of Arik Anpin, and the Yud does not come out of their Avir, because they never change their ways. This is why they are called air that is not known. Also there is Parsa, inside the Mei, belly or intestine of Arik Anpin, which was made in the place of Chazeh. This is the firmament that separates the upper water, which is Rosh of Arik Anpin, from upper Abba Ve'ima, which clothed him from the pay to the Chazeh, since the Rosh of Arik Anpin continues through there. Hence the Parsa stands beneath them and divides between them and Yeshut and Zon, lower water, which is devoid of illumination of the Rosh of Arik Anpin. This is why the lower waters cry, "We want to be before the king," since they wish to rise and receive the illumination of Chokhmah from Rosh of Arik Anpin. And now, friends, let's take a moment to renew our intention and watch another clip of Dr. Rav Laitman.
Rav, if the light comes, it's not the book. We have to understand that as the Kabbalists don't write books so that it's written down. They build the system of spirituality between them. So, and they give it to us in written form. The action is generally spiritual when they build connections that's broken, distant, that were broken up, and they connect them into a system, integral system, and then they express their work, all the means of connection, what came from this as a book, in form of a book. The way they reveal the break, that's not a pleasant state. They reveal a king in a way that they feel huge hatred, darkness, lack of hope, lack of understanding. That's what they talk about. And it's impossible without this, because there will be an evening, there'll be a morning, one day. You can only determine light in relation to the darkness. And by revealing this connection, how can we bring these things together and bring them to one unity? This is what the Kabbalists realize in practice, and then they give it to us in shape of a book. The book is a result, written down form of what they did in the spiritual system, which is revealed first as broken, and to the extent that they're able to.
Dear friends, we're coming to a close of our reading. Thank you all for being here. I'm sure your efforts, our united efforts, have attracted much light in the Book of Zohar, that the Book of Zohar has given us. Let's check in who else is with us. Carl Guerin from Florida is writing, "Good to see you, great friends." Jocelyn writes, "Much love and intention." Mel writes, "Love from Sydney." AJ says, "I only have curiosity." Love from Annie Kurtz. Daniel Feldman writes, "Love and light from Charlotte." Misha Letterman, "Love and blessings from Yafo, Israel." Dan and Sean says, "Thank you to all." Patricia, "Thank you." Ray sends big love. Thank you all, friends. We will continue again next Tuesday. Let's stay together in thought and prayer for world peace.
Thank you.